Yeah, probably mental and physical rest, recovery. That, number one. Number two, when you play 3 games in 7 days, there's not a lot of time to work on you. So if there's problems that we need to address both offensively and defensively, schematically, you just don't have the time to really do that because you're turning over the next page so soon, and you can't really practice the day after a game. So you get one day of real practice, and then you really got to focus on your next opponent. So going through that process for a month can be very straining, very difficult, very challenging, both mentally and physically. So it finally gave us time to kind of get back and set our foundation, both offensively and defensively, what we want to look like, which is a fast-paced offensive basketball team that shares the ball, and defensively be gritty and tough, which at times this year we haven't accomplished that. At times this year we have. So it gives us time to be able to go reestablish that foundation.
When you look at maybe some of the things that the team has struggled with over the last month and some of those stretches, are those things that when you look at as a coach that there's things that can be fixed in a time period like this to where it can be flipped to where you were, say, in early January?
Yeah, no question. I mean, the league doesn't give you a lot of chance to recover. Like I said, playing 3 games in 7 days, there's not a lot of recovery time. But all of us are in the same situation. So the team that is mentally and physically able to recover from, mistakes, miscues, losses, ultimately wins the league like Belmont did this year. Being most of the stuff that's happened is kind of slippage stuff, I would say, that slipped a little bit here, slipped a little bit there. Then it became so big that gave us some problems, whether it was defensive rebounding, whether it was guarding one-on-one or guard pick and rolls, whatever you want to say the problems were. The slippage started small and it just got bigger and bigger as those games went on because we just didn't have a lot of time to work on ourselves. This week gives us a chance to get back to our foundation, what made us good defensively. We were never a great defensive team this year. It's going to be much better next year for sure. But with some personnel changes and maybe some schematic things we do differently. But we were a really good offensive team for the most part this year. We need to be better next year defensively. And, this week of time right here going into the conference tournament gives us a chance to really hone in on some things that we need to do better defensively.
How's the vibe been since the win on Saturday?
Oh, it's been good. It's always good when you win. I mean, still there's things to address if we want to win a tournament championship, which we do. But yeah, confidence is a big key too. Early on we played with a lot of confidence, and with that confidence, we were flying around more. Winning builds some confidence. So hopefully we can build some momentum going into the conference tournament, which I consider Sunday's game at 1:00 against Bradley for second place in the Missouri Valley Conference. I consider the first game of the tournament really because it has such an impact in seeding.
How big would this win be?
I mean, it'd be huge.
1 to 10.
Obviously, placing second in the 9th best league in the country is a great achievement for our first-year team. 15 new guys, setting a foundation, hopefully that can carry on to multiple championships runs in the future is extremely important. So Sunday's game is gigantic, just like all the games are, but it's huge because it's really the first game, like I said, of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament because of the impact it has in seeding. We'll be the second, number 2 seed. If we win on Sunday, we could fall all the way to 5th with a loss. So it is a gigantic game.
Obviously, you've been coaching for a very long time, with this other being your first year as a head coach. There's been peaks and valleys, of course, over the last month. How has that challenged you as a coach, and how maybe you have changed things or been forced to change or kind of have to adapt as the year has gone on in your first season?
Well, I was associate coach at Auburn, associate coach at TCU, associate coach at Creighton. And all those leagues, SEC, Big 12, Big East, you're going to be peaks and valleys. I mean, there's really no difference there. I've always said it, and we said it when I was coaching those teams. The biggest thing for those, when you're coaching those leagues, and this is a really good league, the 9th best league in the country, is 1 loss can't turn to 2 to 3. When your confidence gets rattled a little bit, you have to be able to recover. And a little bit of that happened this year where we were not able to recover from losses. 1 led to 2, 2 led to 3, which can't happen. But the biggest challenge for me was not necessarily how good the league was, because I've been through it at, you know, a high-level assistant coach, being Jamie Dixon's right-hand man in the Big 12 or Frank Dermott's right-hand man in the Big East. The biggest challenge in this league, and I think it's for everybody, is I've never been in a league where you turn around, play 3 games in 7 days so consistently. Like, if you look around the country, most leagues play Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, and you know you have days to break to where you can kind of regather yourself. In this league, there's no days to break. A lot of those days are travel days too, so you don't get a lot of practice time. You have to do a lot of film work. You need mentally and physically tough guys to be able to handle that. So that was the biggest thing for me going through this league, is the amount of days that were 3 games in 7 days consistently over the course of the season. Our guys next year have to be much. If we're going to win a championship, I mean, finishing second in the league is outstanding, but to win a championship, our guys are going to have to be much mentally and physically tougher next year to be able to do that.
How is Lane looking right now?
Lane was out of yesterday's practice. We're not practicing today. Another recovery day today, but because we want 3 days going into Sunday. I think he's progressing quite well. We'll see how tomorrow goes with practice. So today he'll have off, but he'll see Fred in the training room, and we'll see what happens from there.
How much does the kind of the progression of tenor help that when you're having a situation where you're not sure about Lane? Hopefully he does come back, but Tenor's played so well over these last couple of weeks that you have a guy that you can rely on at that position.
Yeah, it's gigantic. I mean, we knew recruiting through the recruiting process that we'd have 2 point guards, and didn't know who we would start, who we wouldn't start. We figured that we had 2 starting point guards really, so both guys are capable, starting that position, playing big minutes at that position, and be able to have the luxury of having KJ when Lane goes out, play extended minutes is a luxury really good to have as a coach.
Looking at KJ and how he's progressed, is there a moment that you can really put your finger on where he really took the step that he's taken?
I think he's gained some confidence from that Belmont, particularly the first half of that game, where he got confident in his shooting. We've seen in practice that he's a capable shot maker. I think shooting the ball, shooting open shots, gave him more confidence in the Belmont first half that he's been able to carry on forward. So playing more extended minutes too, I think it helps him too get better flow. But he's been really good, and he's going to have to be good the rest of the way out if we're going to win the conference tournament.
It's good.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you,
Good
Ryan.
stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate that.